Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Matthew with Matthew Specialized Detailing. Thank you for clicking on the channel today. Very glad you're here. We're going to do something a little different today. I'm bringing in a guest. Clint Hints from Buff and Shine is going to join me where we talk all about your favorite buffing pads. Foam pads, microfiber pads, and wool pads. Now, we plan on breaking these into 3 separate videos so you don't have to get stuck watching all of them at once, so let's get after it. Today we have a special guest, Clint Hints from Buff and Shine. Today we're talking all about buffing pads, and we are going to start with foam pads. Clint, welcome. Glad you're here, my man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, yeah.
It's really an exciting time right now. The last 4 or 5 years, there's just been crazy changes. But I mean, even as we look forward, there's nothing but evolution going on. And starting with the foam is kind of interesting because, foam's been around a long time.
Long time.
Most of the foam was U.S. foam, which was really just made to go on road rebuffers or smaller polishers like a Porter cable.
Right.
It didn't really have a lot of oscillation. Yes. So as the paints changed, the tool manufacturers started to create gear-driven long throws. You flex your Rupes, your other machines.
Love our long throws.
Absolutely. But that crazy oscillation and those patterns that they make were so much different that the U.S. foam would not stay together, as well as the loop and the adhesive that held it on there. So it became an evolution of that foam changing from US foam to European foam, which I have some here. And the difference is that the US foam, again, just did not hold up like the European foam. So at Buff and Shine, not only did we make that transition from the US foam to the European foam for the newer style innovative machines, but also changed the adhesive, proprietary adhesive that we have on that holds the loop on, which is the Velcro back that sticks to the backing plate.
Which I know over the years, this is something that a lot of guys have struggled with as they've gone from older technology in a rotary into newer technology with the long throws like Clint was talking, where we're adding more heat to the pad and the adhesives kind of fall apart. So this is what we're talking about.
Correct. And something to throw out there, there's lots of foams, okay? We make the pads for the machines. Right. And there's a lot of foams out there that could be in couches and things like that. So cheaper is not always better when it comes to foam and actually buffing on the cars that you're doing, whether you're an end user, a novice, or you're in your own detail shop.
Sure.
The first line I really wanted to talk about was our open cell reticulated foam that we call Eurotech. Now, a lot of folks think that Euro stands for European, because there are a lot of people out there that obviously know that we have European foam. It does not. URO stands for Ultimate Random Orbital.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I learned something today.
See, that's good. I learned it at one time too.
Yeah.
But, it really comes in a series of 5 pads, as you could see. Open cell is an actual reticulation process that's kind of cool on how it works, but it actually creates orifices inside of the foam. Now, with Buff and Shine, typically the bigger the orifice, the more cut you will get. So what I'll do to start with is to kind of show you, and it might be hard to see on camera, but if you feel that, tell everybody how it feels.
Yeah, this is very, very stiff. It's got a very kind of rigid face, and if you look here, you can kind of see the open cell that Clint is talking about there.
And if you say to yourself, well, I don't know if I have an open cell or a closed cell pad, it's very easy. You just take the pad like this and blow through it. If it's open cell, you'll be able to get air through it, and if it's closed cell, you will not be able to.
Interesting.
So, but it is interesting that would be obviously a heavy cut pad.
Heavy cut pad,
that would be for heavy compounding, heavy car wash scratches, that type of thing.
Sure, awesome.
So, and then of course, I'll just go down the row. This is our burgundy pad. It's a medium compounding pad. Very popular pad in our line. Very popular, and a unique foam.
Still stiff, but a little softer at the face compared to the blue one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still a cutting pad, but not as aggressive as the blue.
If you are after some harder paints, you can finish with a pad like this.
Okay.
I'm not guaranteeing on video that everybody's going to have success with that, but some harder paints, you can finish with a more aggressive pad.
Interesting.
Which is neat. That not only everything really starts with the paint manufacturers.
Correct.
And I don't know, maybe with somebody else there is, but they're not sending us emails saying, hey, Buff and Shine, you need to start working on this because we're changing our clears. It kind of seems to cycle down into, you know, the machines, the pads, and as well as the polishing systems, which is a very important part of that process, is you know, the compound polishing systems. This pad's pretty cool. This is kind of newer to our lineup. It's part of our Reflection Artist line, but it's also a Eurotech pad. And we may talk about Reflection Artist line later, but this is our heavy polish pad, or what we like to call our AIO pad, all-in-one pad. It's a great one-step pad. It's very versatile. That's one thing that's really cool about the two new pads that we came out with, is that when somebody says, what's the best application? I say, hey, it works good here and here and here, but you tell me. You know, we've put the pad out there, and we are getting, you know, folks that say, hey, I'm cutting with it, I'm finishing with it. You know, so not limiting it to just an all-in-one pad or a heavy polish pad.
This is great. This is a foam pad that I really do like to use. This is an awesome pad.
It's been received very well in the market, which obviously we're very happy for.
What's up next, Clint? What do we got next?
Last two pads. This is our yellow. It's just basically a polishing pad. You can use it to finish with. So it's a versatile pad as well. And then the white, which you can feel the difference. It almost, you cannot feel any porousness of the pad whatsoever, because it's very, very tight. This would be for your softer, or as Mike Phillips from AutoGeek would say, you know, your more finicky paints. You know, to really, really be able to finish off. These pads, every pad that I just showed you comes in sizes for 6-inch. When I say 6-inch, we at Buff and Shine, 6-inch means the size of your backing plate, the size of the loop. These pads do bevel out about 3/4 of an inch.
You can see the taper, right? The back of it is 6 inches, and it's a little larger at the face.
It does get a little bit confusing, because there are times that somebody says, I want a 6-inch pad, and again, we go by the loop and not how it bevels out. So.
Right.
But these pads come at 6-inch, 5-inch, 3-inch, 2-inch, and 1-inch, which will fit your smaller tools to get to your smaller places. And
Excellent.
Stuff like that,
so the question that I'm going to ask you, Clint, is that for the guys that are tuning in and watching this, you have a detail shop, you're a high volume place, or you're just a boutique guy like myself and you're not doing a lot of volume, but you still get customers that come in and you're doing a one-step exterior where you clay the vehicle or do your decontamination, and you're going to use your product of choice to go after and get maximum results with a one-step. What would be your recommendation out of the pads you just showed us here? What would be your recommendation for us?
I definitely would probably start with this type of pad. Now, I know when, you know, I'm a big advocate of your 2x2 foot test spot, because we know, you know, paints are always different. Even if they're sister cars, you know, they could be very different paints. But this is definitely what I would start with. It's a good general pad because it has very good cutting ability for being a polishing pad, and it also finishes well. So again, lighter the color. If you know a little bit about the paint, maybe it's a little bit harder. You could try on your 2x2 foot test panel and see what you get with a pad like this. But I would say, you know, 9 out of 10 times, this pad's going to be the one in the foam to go to.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of guys out there that have asked me questions in the past about, well, Matt, what pad do you like to go with for a one-step? And this is just an important thing, because I know there's guys doing, you know, multiple 4 or 5-step corrections, but commonly you're going to get these cars where you're doing your decontamination and a one-step, and it's good to have this type of information to know what pad you really want to finish with. So this is, like Clint said, this is when I use a foam pad, this is the pad that I like to go with, and it works really, really well. And of course, I always like, if the car is in great shape, my personal recommendation is after I get done with my clay step, a vehicle that I'm doing maintenance stuff on that's very well kept up, I'm always going with the white finishing pad, because this thing, it just lays it down really, really smooth, and really brings the paint to a really, really high glow. And I know I've worked with some other people over the years that have talked to me, well, how do you get that ultimate gloss and finish into the paint? And a soft pad like this is certainly going to do the job.
Absolutely.
So this kind of covers it right now for some foam pads. If you guys have any questions, please leave some comments below, and we'd be happy to answer some questions for you. But we're going to take a quick break and come back and talk to you about microfiber pads. Stay tuned.
The fun is just beginning.
It's only beginning.